It don't need to be. This one ain't loud. This one ain't loud, it don't need to be. Peace don't scream, it just lets you breathe. I used to think peace was something you chase, like a finish line waiting in a hidden place. But I ran too long and it stayed out of sight, till I stopped all the running and stood in the light. That's when I felt it, quiet, real. Not what I wanted, but what I could feel. No more war in my chest, no more noise in my head. Just a calm little voice where the chaos was dead. Yeah, I used to confuse peace with everything smooth, like no problems, no pressure, no fighting to lose. But life don't work like that, it keeps coming with tests. And peace is the way you respond to the mess. I had to unlearn thinking I needed escape from every emotion I couldn't erase. So I sat with my thoughts instead of running away. Let the silence talk to me day after day. At first it was heavy, uncomfortable space, like I couldn't stand being alone in my place. But slowly the noise in my mind started flowing, like I finally stopped overthinking where I was going. I stopped chasing validation from people I knew, stopped trying to prove I had nothing to lose. And I found something deeper beneath all the stress, a stillness inside that felt like success. Not money, not fame, not applause in the crowd, just a calm in my spirit that didn't get loud. I started to notice the beauty in now, in breathing, in being, in not needing how. Everything ends up just trusting the flow and letting myself finally go slow. I found peace where the noise used to be. I found peace, I found peace. Now it's holding me. No more fighting my mind, no more losing my time. I found peace and it feels like mine. It didn't come overnight, it came through pain. Through every breakdown I thought was insane. Through every moment I thought I was lost. Through learning that peace still comes with a cost. The cost is ego, the cost is pride, the cost is the need to always decide who wins, who loses, who's right or wrong. Peace don't care about being that strong, it cares about balance, about breathing slow, about letting go of what you can't control. So I started adjusting the way I respond to things that used to have me so gone. Now I pause before reacting to life, let the moment settle before picking a side. And in that space I found something real, a version of me I could finally feel. Not rushing, not running, not trying to prove, just existing inside my own move. And that changed everything I thought I knew about what it means to get through. I found peace where the noise used to be. I found peace, I found peace. Now it's holding me. No more fighting my mind, no more losing my time. I found peace and it feels like mine. It's funny how quiet can heal you deep, when you finally stop fighting what you keep inside your chest, inside your mind. Peace was there the whole damn time, I just couldn't see it through the storm. Now I know peace was my true form. Not something I chased, not something I find, but something I was all this time. I found peace, let the struggle release. I found peace, put my mind at ease. No more noise in my head, no more words left unsaid. I found peace where the chaos had bled. Every wound got quiet, every thought went silent. I found peace and I stopped the riot inside my soul. Now I'm feeling, couldn't tell where I ended or it began, so I had to choose between running and breathing. And I swear that choice felt like releasing a demon. I was quick to explode, slow to reflect. Every word I spoke came with a threat in the chest. I walk in the room and the air got tense, like my silence itself was a form of defense. I confused pain with power, thought rage was respect, but I was losing myself in every effect. I broke relationships just to feel in control. Never saw I was hollow inside of my soul. I replay old fights like I needed the proof that the world was against me, that I spoke the truth. But truth get distorted when anger is loud. It don't whisper wisdom, it just builds a cloud. I hurt people I love just to stand on pride, then cried in the dark when they stepped aside. I thought I was strong cause I never backed down, but strength ain't in noise, it's in laying it down. One night I just snapped and I froze in my tracks. every habit I built, didn't wanna get lost. Anger was familiar, like an old friend's call, but that friend was the reason I kept tripping and fall. I had to unlearn reacting to every small threat. Stop turning conversations into personal debt. I started breathing before I answered the pain. Let the silence sit longer before feeding the flame. And I noticed something strange in the quiet space. I could finally see life without the rage on my face. People didn't hate me, I was pushing them out. Building walls out of fear, I was drowning in doubt. So I softened the edges, I used to defend. Learn not every argument needs a win in the end. Some battles are illusions that ego creates. And peace don't arrive when you dominate. It arrives when you stop trying to prove you exist and just be in the moment, unclenching the fist. Now I walk a little lighter, I breathe a little free, cause I ain't at war with the world or with me. I put anger down, let the fire burn out. I put anger down, found a different route. No more living in rage, no more locked in a cage. I put anger down, now I hear peace speak out. I used to think rage was protection, but it was just pain with no direction. Every outburst was a cry unheard. Every silence was a heavy word. Now I see what it cost my days to live in that never-ending hate. So I chose to step out the storm, even if it meant changing form. And in that stillness I finally found what it means to put anger down. I put anger down, didn't need it no more. I put anger down, walked away from war. All that fire I held was a prison I built. I put anger down, released all the guilt. Now I speak with calm where the chaos used to be. I put anger down, and it finally set me free. No more breaking myself, no more losing my health. I put anger down, found my inner wealth. It ain't weakness to pause, it ain't lost to withdraw. I put anger down, now I live without flaws. Yeah, I let it go, and I ain't look back. Decided mine end in a different place. So I stand in the mirror with a heavy tone, saying you gon' raise what you never was shown. I came from silence in houses that scream, where love was survival, not part of the dream. Where fathers was distant, mothers stayed strong, and kids had to learn what was right from what's wrong. I watched men disappear when pressure got real, so I built my identity learning not to feel. But I felt everything, just hid it inside. Turn emotion to silence, then silence to pride. I said I'd be different but didn't know how, cause you don't break cycles by just saying it loud. You break them by facing the pain that you got, by unlearning the lessons you thought you were taught. I had anger, inherited fear passed down, like a legacy written without any crown. So I paused in my path when I saw my own eyes reflecting the same hurt I used to despise. And I realized then I was part of the chain that I couldn't escape if I kept the same pain. So I chose something harder than running away. I chose to stay present and change every day. Not perfect, just honest, just trying to grow, trying to be something I never was shown. I broke the cycle, ain't passing it down. I broke the cycle, turned my life around. No more repeat pain, no more same lane. I broke the cycle, I'm changing my name. Yeah. I had to learn patience when anger would rise. Had to choose not to echo the past in my eyes. Every reaction not changed was a win. Every moment not paused was a break in the skin. I stopped speaking from wounds and started to heal. Started asking what's fake and what's truly real. I forgave what I could, confronted what's true. Not just for me, but for all I could do. Cause I seen what happens when cycles survive. They turn love into trauma that follows through life. So I stood in the fire and didn't retreat. Let the old version of me fall at my feet, and I built something new from the ashes I earned. Every lesson I lived was a lesson I learned. Now I speak to the younger me lost in the past, saying you don't gotta live like that. The cycle ends here, not carried ahead, not repeated in silence, not buried in dread. I broke the cycle, ain't passing it down. I broke the cycle, turned my life around. No more repeat pain, no more same lane. I broke the cycle, I'm changing my name. It wasn't easy, it broke me first. Had to face all the pain that I never rehearsed. Had to sit with the truth, let it sting in my chest before I could finally lay it to rest. But through every breakdown, something got born. A version of me that stopped feeling torn. And I saw in that moment, clear as the sky, that the cycle only lives different, I'll never forget. I turned from the fire when it called my name, and that one small choice rewrote the game. It started with tension, a look in the word, the type of situation where pride gets stirred. My past would've told me don't let it slide. Handle it now, don't swallow your pride. But I paused in the middle, the heat rising fast. Saw flashes of futures that never would last. If I stepped in that moment the wrong way again, if I let anger decide how the story would end. I seen prison walls in the blink of an eye, seen family crying for reasons I lied to myself like it wouldn't get that far. Like consequences don't follow a star, but they do. They always do. So I chose to break pattern, not follow through. I exhaled all the rage that was ready to burst, and I walked away silent, absorbed the curse. Every step felt heavy like I lost the war, but I knew what I lost would've cost me more. That night I became someone I didn't know, a man who could leave when the fire would grow. And that moment, it changed my soul, cause I proved I ain't always gotta lose control. I walked away, even when pride tried to stay. Chose a different way. No more fight in the night. No more wrong for the right. I walked away and I saved my life. Yeah. See, nobody celebrates the walk away move. They only respect you when you got something to prove. But I learned that silence can be stronger than noise. That peace is a weapon when you master your choice. Every instinct I had told me don't let it slide, but wisdom was whispering, step to the side. I had to unlearn what survival had taught, that every disagreement had to be fought. Cause some battles ain't worth the breath that they take. Some moments just exist for your future's sake. I saw what I could lose in a split-second glare. A whole different timeline erased in the air. So I walked, not weak but aware. That power is knowing when not to care. Not care enough to destroy what you built. Not let one moment turn love into guilt. That night I grew older in spirit and mind, left destruction behind without looking behind. And I realized strength ain't always attack. Sometimes it's the discipline of holding back. I walked away, even when pride tried to stay. I walked away, chose a different way. No more fight in the night. No more wrong for the right. I walked away and I saved my life. Yeah, that moment still echoes inside of my head. Could've been a headline or worse instead, but I chose restraint over reaction that night, and it felt like I finally did something right. Not every instinct deserves to survive. Some of them only keep chaos alive. So I learned in that silence I stood in alone. Sometimes the strongest move is to just go home. I walked away, and I still feel that day. I walked away from a darker display. No sound, no story to tell. I walked away, and I broke that spell. Every prideful scream, every violent dream. I walked away, and it changed my thing. Now I'm thankful for it, and I know deep down what I should've done. I stayed too quiet when the damage begun. I had chances to speak, but I chose to delay. Thought time would heal what I didn't convey, but silence don't heal, it just stores up pain till it leaks through your soul like permanent stain. I watched people drift while I held my pride. Never said what I felt on the inside. Kept composure like it made me strong, but strength ain't staying silent for too long. I should've said I'm sorry when it mattered most. Instead I became just another ghost, haunting my own memories, stuck in rewind, trying to fix conversations I left behind. I replay every moment I let slip away. Every out talk later turned into decay. Now I see clearer what I refuse to face. That apology lost is a permanent trace. It don't vanish, it lingers and lives in your breath. It becomes the quiet that follows your steps, and I carry that weight in every new day. Wishing I'd chosen a different way, but regret don't prove right when silence is done. It just teaches you what can't be undone. Words I never said still echo in my head. Words I never said keep raising the dead. No more pride delay, no more lost replay. Words I never said still haunt me today. I thought being strong, man, holding it in. But I learned too late, that's how the pain wins. Every unsaid truth becomes a chain. Every missed apology feeds the strain. I could've healed bridges I watched collapse. Instead, I just stood there trapped in the past. Now I see that courage is speaking in time before silence turns love into decline. But I didn't know then what I know right now, that words got power to fix or break down. And I broke more than I ever repaired by acting like I just didn't care. But I cared too much to admit I was wrong, so I buried emotions where they didn't belong. And now I'm just learning to face what I did, wishing I said what I always hid. Some doors don't reopen, some people move on, and all you can do is reflect on the song that your silence composed in the night all alone, while you turned every apology into stone.
I never said,
Still echo in my head.
words I never said, keep praising the dead.
No more pride delay, no more lost replay.
Words I never said,
Still
haunt me to
If I could go back, I speak it all clear. Let go of the ego, release every fear. But time don't bend for regret or pain, it only moves forward, never the same. So I live with the weight of what I withheld, a story of silence I never spelled. And I learn every day that truth delayed is love that slowly fades
words I
away.
never said,
Still live in my head,
words I never said,
wish I'd done instead. No more silence wall, no more ego calls.
words I never said.
Still breaking my falls. Every chance I lost, every bridge it cost. But I didn't see purpose in what it would cost. I know I learned the hard way. Now answers don't scream. Sometimes God responds in the space between dreams. I knelt in the chaos, talked to the sky, asking why I keep losing what I try to revive. Every hope I had seemed to break in my hands, like the plan I was on wasn't part of the plan. I wanted yes, wanted fast, wanted light through the storm, but the silence was teaching me something more form. I thought I was abandoned with nothing replied, but I didn't see growth in the tears I cried. I built expectations on human demand, but divine timing don't follow man's plan. Every no I got felt like failure at first, till I realized some blessings gotta hurt to redirect paths you refuse to see, to protect you from versions you thought you'd be. I was angry at heaven for not intervening, not knowing delay was a form of meaning. Every closed door was a shift in disguise, every unanswered prayer was a test of my eyes, to see beyond wanting and into the why, to trust that unseen hands were still moving my life. I stopped demanding answers in ways I designed and started accepting the rhythm of time.
God answer different,
Not the way I planned it,
God answer different.
had to learn to understand.
No loud reply,
Just a change inside,
God answer different.
still saved my life. I used to think silence meant I was alone, like heaven ignored every prayer I thrown. But looking back now, I see clearer than then. Every delay was a form of begin again. It wasn't rejection, it was redirection, protecting my soul from the wrong connection. I had to unlearn thinking I control the pace, learn humility in the way to grace. Sometimes the answer is growing through pain, sometimes the answer is losing the game. I stopped treating outcomes like proof I was hurt, and started trusting the depth of the word. Even when life don't respond how I wish, there's still unseen mercy inside of it. I had to surrender the need to demand, and start accepting I'm held in His hand. Now I see answers in ways I ignored, like peace in the silence I used to abhor, like strength in the weight I never embraced, like love in the struggle I used to hate.
God answer different,
Not the way I planned it,
God answer different.
had to learn to understand.
No loud reply,
Just a change inside,
God answer different.
still saved my life. I thought unanswered meant I was forgotten, but it was protection I couldn't have bought in. Every closed chapter was building a road, I just couldn't see what the silence would hold. Now I look back with a different view, every delay was carrying me through. So I stopped fighting the quiet I feared, and found the divine had been always near.
God answer different,
But still He spoke,
God answer different.
through every broke hope.
No thunder sound,
But I'm still found,
God answer different.
turn my life around. Had to wait, had to trust through the pain and the dust.
God
answer different, but it was enough. Every no had a plan, every tear had a hand.
God answer
different, now I
understand.
understand. No more storms that kept calling my respect on never switching sides. Even when the truth started hitting my eyes, I'd defend what was wrong just to keep my place in circles that only brought shame to my face. I thought loyalty meant never letting go. Even when the situation started to erode, I stayed in the fire just to prove I was real. But real ain't destroying the way that you feel. I lost relationships trying to stay in the fold to people who never had my soul in they code. I'd ignore the signs, red flags in the air like blinding myself just to prove I was there. But love is different. It don't ask you to bleed. It don't demand you abandon your needs. It don't make you smaller to keep it intact. It don't punish you for stepping back. So I started questioning every bond I upheld. Was I building my life or just staying in hell? Cause loyalty blind can destroy what you are. It can change your future and break who you are. One day I chose love over all that I knew and walked away from what loyalty told me to do. And even though it hurt like a cut in my chest, it felt like I finally could breathe again fresh. I chose love over loyalty. Stop drowning in royalty. I chose love over loyalty. Broke free from conformity. No more staying blind. No more wasting time. I chose love over loyalty, and I reclaim my mind. It wasn't betrayal, it was clarity born from realizing I was constantly torn between who I am and who they wanted me to be. But I couldn't survive that split identity, so I chose myself in the quietest way. Left the table, I never should have stayed. And I learned that love don't demand your decay. It don't ask you to throw yourself away. Loyalty without love is just fear in disguise. A contract of pain, you keep justifying lies. But love will correct you, it won't let you drown. It will pull you up even when you're going down. So I stopped saying yes when my spirit said no. Stop planting myself where I couldn't grow. And I found that the loss wasn't loss at all. It was freedom, answering a silent call. Now I know the difference clear in my bones between staying stuck and building a home. I chose love over loyalty. Stop drowning in royalty. I chose love over loyalty. Broke free from conformity. No more staying blind. No more wasting time. I chose love over loyalty, and I reclaim my mind. It's hard to unlearn what you call your truth when loyalty's drilled in you from your youth. But truth evolves when you start to see that love should never cost you peace. So I stepped away from what wasn't right, even if it meant sleepless nights. Cause I learned in the end what matters most is not what you keep, it's what you let go. I chose love over loyalty and broke mental for royalty. I chose love over loyalty, found my own authority. No more chains I wore, no more open sore. I chose love over loyalty, and I wanted more peace, more truth, more life, more proof. I chose love over loyalty, and I cut the roof that kept me trapped. Now I don't look back. I chose love over loyalty, and I stayed on track, even when it hurt, even through the dirt. I chose love over loyalty, and I knew my worth. Yeah, I chose right this time. Yeah. Thought struggle meant strength, so I carried it all. Even when my back bent and I was ready to fall, I smiled through the damage, act like I'm straight, while the weight on my spirit kept shifting my fate. I didn't know reaching out could save your soul. I thought help was a weakness I couldn't control, but the truth came heavy when I hit my limit. I couldn't do life alone, not really in it. I was raised on the code, don't show your scars. Handle your pain, don't expose who you are. So I buried it deeper, kept pushing through, even when every breath felt overdue. I tell myself, man up, don't fold, don't break. While inside I was cracking under every mistake. I thought asking for help meant I failed the test, but silence was slowly destroying my chest. I lost sleep, lost peace, lost track of time, trying to act like I was always fine. But fine was a mask I wore too long, and the cracks started showing in every song. One night I sat still with nothing to say, just me and my thoughts in a hollowed out space. And I realized something I couldn't ignore. I wasn't built to carry the shelf. I asked for help. Stop trying to do it myself. No more silent pain. No more heavy chain. I asked for help. And I started again. And I started again. It wasn't easy unlearning that pride. Had to let people see what I hid inside. Had to trust that weakness ain't what it seemed. That vulnerability ain't killing your dreams. It actually builds you in ways you don't see. When you let someone else help carry the debris. I started speaking instead of suppressing the weight. Started releasing instead of sealing my fate. And the more I opened, the lighter I got. Like I've been drowning in thoughts I forgot. I learned connection is part of survival. Not every battle is meant for solar revival. Some victories come when you share the load. When somebody walks with you down the road, I stopped feeling ashamed of reaching a hand. I started understanding I'm still a man. Even when I get mad, I can't do it alone. Even when I break down and pick up the phone, that shift in my spirit changed everything. From suffering silence to hearing it sing. I asked for help. Drop the pride off the shelf. I asked for help. Stop trying to do it myself. No more silent pain. No more heavy chain. I asked for help. Yeah, and I started again. And I started again. I thought I was strong for holding it in, but strength was in knowing where healing begins. And it starts when you stop acting invincible and let yourself be seen and be vulnerable. That moment changed more than I could explain. It broke a whole lifetime of hidden pain. Now I know what it means to be real. It's not just surviving, it's learning to feel. I asked for help, and I finally felt myself. I asked for help. Stop living in mental health. No more pretend, no more breaking the bend. I asked for help, and I found a new end. Every tear that I hid, every truth that I did, I asked for help, and I stopped being rid of my own humanity, my own sanity. I asked for help, and it set me free. Yeah, I asked for help, and I survived. Last one. Yeah. The last one, last one. And it feel like a mirror I can't look away from. All the roads I didn't take still weigh like they weigh tons. I see versions of me that never got born. In timelines I stepped out of weathered and worn. Some nights I wonder what if I chose different pain. Would I still carry scars or a cleaner name? But life don't do rewinds, it only reflects. Every choice leaves echoes it don't forget. So I sit with the silence, no running at night. Just me and the life I didn't live right. I see him, sometimes the man I could have been. Different paths, different scars, different skin. He's got calmer eyes, less war in his tone. Less nights feeling empty when he's alone. He made different choices when pressure came. Didn't let ego decide every flame. He stayed in school longer, stayed out the dark. Didn't learn survival by breaking apart. He spoke when it mattered, didn't hold it in. Didn't let silence become his sin. He trusted more early, forgave more fast. Didn't let pain dictate how long things last. But me, I was built from different storms, where every lesson came in distorted form. So I wonder sometimes in the quiet space, if I switch my path, would I still know my face? Or would I be softer, less battle scarred, less carrying weight that broke me hard? It's not regret exactly, it's something deeper, like watching a ghost of a lighter sleeper. A version of me I'll never meet, walking a road I can't repeat. The life I miss still lingers in this. The life I miss feels like a twist. No way back now, no clear how. The life I miss still here somehow. I made peace with the fact I can't rewind time, can't rewrite pain or redesign lines. But I can honor the roads I didn't take, and learn from every mistake I make. Maybe that other me lives somewhere else, free from the weight I put on myself. But I'm here now with all my scars, still reaching for light through broken stars. And maybe that's the point I missed before. It ain't about perfect, it's about endure. Even the version I wish I could be would still be shaped differently than me. So I stopped comparing and started to see that even the broken path built this me. And every almost I carry inside is proof that I chose
chose to stay alive. Not every version gets to survive, so I respect the one still inside. The life I miss
Still lingers in this.
the life I miss
Feels like a twist.
no way back now.
No clear how. The life I miss still here somehow.
The life I miss
Still here somehow.
the life I miss. Hey, hey, hey.
I used to think I lost something big, but maybe I just learned how to live with every decision I ever made. With every road I refuse to trade in peace. Ain't wishing things were reversed. It's accepting the blessing inside the curse. So I let go of what I can't reclaim and carry forward what built my name.
Life I miss, a silent list. The life I miss can't be fixed, but I'm still here through every fear. The life I miss feels so near, but I walk ahead. No more dread. The life I miss in my head. Still I grow, still I flow. The life I miss, I let go, not forgetting pain, but breaking chain. The life I miss made me sane.
I see it now.
And I chose me.
All that applause still couldn't fix what I buried indoors. I used to chase validation like it was air, till I noticed it never really cared. Clout don't hold you when you fall apart. It just watches from afar while you guard your heart. So I stepped back, looked at it clear, and asked myself what I'm doing here. I used to think fame was the proof I made it, that recognition meant I had upgraded. But I was still empty when the crowd got loud, still alone in my head in a crowded crowd. Every smile I got felt borrowed and fake, like I had to perform for the image I make. I'd lose myself just to keep the demand, while my real self slipped right out my hands. I chased numbers, likes, and external praise, but it never healed me on the darkest days. I get on stage, feel powerful, seen, but behind the curtain I wasn't complete. Cause applause don't ask how your soul is feeling, it just echoes back what you're revealing. And I was revealing a version of me that didn't reflect who I needed to be. So I started questioning everything I built. If success is just covering buried guilt, I saw people idolize what I became, but didn't know the cost of the fame. And I realized then in the quiet truth, fame don't matter when it breaks your youth. It don't matter when you're losing your mind, why the world thinks everything's fine.
Fame don't matter
When your soul gets shattered,
fame don't matter
if your peace don't matter, all the lights and sound
still can bring you down.
fame don't matter when you ain't found. I had to detach from the need to be seen, start valuing silence over the screen. Stop measuring worth by applause and cheers, and face the reflection I ignored for years.
We was closer than blood at one point in life. Then pride got sharp like a switchblade knife. Now I talk to the memory when nights get cold, wondering how we both got so far from home. We used to move like the world was ours. Late night talks under street lights and stars. We shared dreams before we knew what pain meant. Back when loyalty felt like it was heaven sent. But time got messy, misunderstandings grew, words got twisted, perspectives got skewed. I said things I shouldn't, they did the same. Now we both got scars we never named. It wasn't one moment, it was death by slow drift. Two hearts once a line started losing their grip. I thought silence would fix what was broken between, but silence just buried what should have been seen. I watched us fade without fighting to stay, like we both accepted it, drifting away. Now I see clearer what pride can destroy. It don't care about history, love, or joy. It just takes good people, it pulls them apart, leaves empty spaces inside of your heart. I still remember the last time we spoke. It wasn't hate, just a fragile choke of words we avoided. Emotions suppressed, two people too proud to confess that we still cared deep under the strain, but neither of us wanted to say the pain. Now I replay it when I'm alone at night, wishing I chose wrong just to make it right. I lost my friend,
Never said it would end.
I lost my friend.
Wish I could make amends. Yeah. No more time to pretend, no more pride to defend. I lost my friend, and I still can't mend. Yeah.
Grief ain't always tears, sometimes it's space. Empty silence where laughter used to take place. I walk through memories like they still alive, but they don't respond when I try. I see flashes of us in better days, when everything felt like simple ways. Now I understand loss ain't always death. Sometimes it's just breathing without they breath. I had to accept what can't be rewound, that some connections don't stay around, but that don't erase what we built back then. It just means that chapter came to an end. I still forgive what I didn't understand, and I wish I handled it more like a man. Cause
I was quick to strike back, slow to understand that revenge don't heal, it just expands the damn plan. If I knew what I know now, I'd have loosened my grip, but I was bleeding through pride, every word was a clip. So I speak on it now, with a cracked up soul, trying to piece together peace where the anger used to grow. I used to wake up mad like the world owed me something. Every smile felt fake, every handshake was frontin'. Kept receipts in my head, every lie I stored it. Turned small cuts into walls, I was sworn to record it. I was locked in the past, couldn't see tomorrow. Every grudge I carry turned to internal sorrow. I replay every moment, let it poison my sleep. Talking to myself like the hurt had a lease. I thought forgiveness meant I'm weak, I'm losing control, but I was losing my spirit. Every time I held my soul, I pushed love away, just to prove I was right. But being right in the dark don't bring light to the night. Man, I built up a prison out of people I knew, and I was both the inmate and the warden too. Funny how I blamed them for the cage I designed. Never saw the real enemy was stuck in my mind. If I let it go sooner, maybe I'd have been free. Instead I kept the pain like it belonged to me. Every I never forgive was a chain on my wrist. Every memory I held was a wound I resist. Now I look back like, what was I fighting for, when peace was knocking soft at the same damn door?
If I learned to forgive sooner, I wouldn't wear this pain like a bloomer. If I let it go back then, maybe I'd have known peace as a friend. But I held on tight, wouldn't lose that fight. Now I see the cost in the lonely night. If I learned to forgive sooner, I wouldn't feel so far from the healer. See, I mistook silence for strength, kept it all inside, smiling on the surface while my spirit died. I was building walls so high, nothing got through, not even love when it tried to break through too. I called it loyalty, but it was just pain on repeat. Every enemy I made was just me incomplete. I could've broke cycles, could've changed the tone, but I kept throwing stones at a glass made home. Now I see it clearer, every scar had a voice telling me I had a chance, I just made the wrong choice. Forgiveness ain't forgetting, it's releasing the hold. It's letting fire die down so the story gets told. I was too busy fighting ghosts to notice the sun, too busy counting losses to see what I'd become. If I knew then what I bleed now in ink, I would've stopped for a second just to feel and think. But I ran from the mirror every time it spoke. Now I'm trying to rebuild, but I almost broke. If I learned to forgive sooner, I wouldn't wear this pain like a bloomer. If I let it go back then, maybe I'd have known peace as a friend. But I held on tight, wouldn't lose that fight. Now I see the cost in the lonely night. If I learned to forgive sooner, I wouldn't feel so far from the healer. I used to think forgiveness meant they win, but really it was me letting light back in. I was wrong, I admit it, I was lost in the rage, living sentence after sentence on a self-made stage. Now I breathe a little different when I let it slide. Ain't no victory in hurt that you keep inside. I'm learning slow, but I'm learning still, that peace don't come from breaking others' will. It comes when the weight finally drops from your chest, and you stop turning pain into a lifelong test. If I learned to forgive sooner, I'd have healed a lot faster, move smoother. If I dropped that grudge back then, I might have seen life as a friend. But I was trapped in the cycle I called my truth, bleeding from choices I thought was proof. Now I see clearer through broken nights. Forgiveness was always the real fight. If I learned to forgive sooner, I wouldn't live like a wounded shooter. I'd have known peace ain't far away. It's what you find when you choose to pray, not for revenge, not for pain to return, but for your own soul to stop and learn. If I learned to forgive sooner, I wouldn't still feel like I'm losing the war inside. I know what it feel like when the mirror don't recognize vision, when the high turns low and the low turns. vision, I was running from silence, drowning in noise, trying to numb out the pain, just to feel like a boy. But the man in me suffered every time I slipped. Every step off the line was another life I skipped. So I ask myself now, in a different tone, who would I be if I never broke my own bones? I used to live in the cycle, repeat and relapse. Every promise to change got erased and collapse. I wake up with hope, then destroy it by night, like I couldn't survive without losing the fight. I called it escape, but it was really a cage, built from habits that aged me before my age. I'd stare at the bottle like it knew my name, like it understood every moment of shame. And it whispered, come closer, I'd take it away. But it never took pain, it just pushed it to stay. I was running from clarity, scared of the truth, cause truth meant accountability in my youth. Every time I slipped, I lost pieces of me, till I couldn't tell what was or used to be. I broke every mirror that tried to reflect the man I was supposed to protect. But deep in the chaos, a voice stayed alive, saying you can still choose a different life. I ignored it for years, fed the wrong desire, watched my future dissolve in the smoke of the fire. But one day I paused in the middle of fall and realized I was tired of losing it all. That's when something shifted inside of my chest, like the fight wasn't worth more than rest. If I stay clean, would I see what I mean? Oh, if I stay clean, would I break the machine? No more falling down, no more losing ground. If I stay clean, maybe I'd still be found. It ain't just substances, it's patterns and pain. It's the choices I made in the dark and the rain. It's escaping myself when the truth got loud. It's being lost in the crowd but not being proud. I had to learn discipline ain't punishment, nah. It's the way you protect what you already are. Every urge I resisted gave strength to my spine. Every moment I chose it, I reclaimed my time. It wasn't overnight, it was war in my head, between who I was and the man I could have been instead. Some nights I still stumble, temptation would call, but I started seeing the cost behind it all. The mornings were clearer, the thoughts less torn, like I finally woke up from a life I was worn. I stopped running from me, started standing in truth. That sobriety's deeper than proof in your youth. It's rebuilding the self that you buried in shame, and learning not every fire deserves a flame. So I walked through the cravings, the doubts, and the nights, and I found a new version that learned how to fight, not against the world, but the war in my skin. And that's where the real freedom begins. If I stay clean, would I see what I mean? If I stay clean, would I break the machine? No more falling down, no more losing ground. If I stay clean, maybe I'd still be found. I ain't preaching, I'm speaking from scars, from nights I was buried beneath who we are. But something inside me refused to die, kept whispering, try again, try. So I did, I tried, I fell, I stood. Learn pain don't mean I ain't no good, it just means I'm human, flawed and real. But I still got the power to choose what I feel. And that choice, it changed my lane, slowly removed me from all that pain. If I stay clean, would I still chase dreams? If I stay clean, would I fix these sins? No more blurred out nights, no more wasted fights. If I stay clean, would I reach new heights? I still wonder sometimes, through the tears in the rise. If I stay clean, would I read the signs? But I'm here now, still breathing, still fighting, still leaving. If I stay clean, maybe I believe in me even deeper, not lost in the reaper. If I stay clean, would I be freer? Yeah, I chose today, and I'm still here. Every I care felt like a setup for a fight. I push good people away just to stay in control, cause control control felt safer than losing my soul. But loneliness got loud when the nights got cold, and I realized I was breaking the mold I was told. So I stood in the mirror, no mask, no spin, and I whispered to myself, let something in. I was built on suspicion, raised on defense. Every compliment felt like a hidden expense. I smiled on the surface, but I studied intent like love was a trap, and the message was bent. I'd leave before staying, disappear from the care, cause if I never stayed, then I never felt scared. I called it survival, but it was escape from the possibility of heartache and break. I sabotaged moments right when they got real, cause real meant exposure, and exposure meant feel. And feeling was something I didn't allow. I was armored in pride, like a thorned up crown. But one person stayed when I pushed them away, didn't flinch at the storm or the words I would spray. They saw past the damage, looked straight through the pain, like they knew I was running from something in vain. I didn't trust it at first though, thought it had a price, like love only showed up to collect your life. But they stayed consistent, no change in the tone, and that quiet persistence broke into my bones. I didn't know what to do with that kind of peace, it felt foreign, like a war finally ceased. So I fought it at first, tried to ruin the bond, but they never stopped showing up, calm and beyond. And slowly I cracked in the places I hid, realizing I was more than the damage I did. I let love in, even when I was scared to begin. I let love in, drop the walls I was living in. No more running away, no more pushing away. I let love in, and I finally found my way. Yeah. It didn't heal overnight, nah, it came in waves. Some days I still relapse into old mental caves, but I learned love ain't perfect, it just shows and stays. Even when you act like you don't need its gaze, I had to unlearn treating kindness like pain. Stop expecting betrayal in every exchange. Start accepting that not everyone want me gone, that some people actually root for you strong. That shift was dangerous, it softened my edge, but it gave me something I never could hedge. Peace ain't loud, it don't scream in your face, it's the quiet assurance of a safer place. I stopped testing people just to prove they leave, stopped building scenarios I used to believe, and I saw myself clearer through someone else's eyes. Not a broken survival, but a man who could try. Love didn't fix me, he showed me the cracks and stayed while I learned how to fill in the gaps. That's a different kind of strength I never knew, not fighting the world, but letting it through. I let love in, even when I was scared to begin. I let love in, drop the walls I was living in. No more running away, no more pushing away. I let love in, and I finally found my way. Yeah. I thought love was a weakness, turns out it was speaking to the parts of me bleeding that I kept from reaching. Now I see what I missed, all the care I dismissed. Every hand I pushed back was a chance I attacked, so I stopped. I stay still and let love rebuild. Even when it didn't fit within, I let love in, and it changed what I held within. I let no more walls so high, no more saying goodbye. I let love in, and I learned how to try. It ain't weakness to feel, it ain't fake, it's real. It ain't fake, it's real. I let love, and I started to heal. Every scar got a name, every fear lost its claim. I let love, now I'm not the same. Still me, but alive. Not I just barely surviving. I let love, then I started thriving. Yeah, I stayed this time, and love stayed too. Yeah. This one ain't about them, it's about me. Hardest war I ever fought was inside of me. I could forget a word, let strangers go, but me, I kept myself stuck in the low. Every mistake I made still felt brand new, like I was punishing myself for what I knew. No judge in the room, just me and regret, building mental prisons I ain't left yet. Till one day I stopped. No noise, no lie, and looked at my soul without passing it by. I carried guilt like it was part of my name, like every wrong move was permanent flame. I replay my failures like they define me, let them sit in my chest and remind me I was harder on me than the world ever was. Turned self-hate into daily applause. Every I shoulda be more than the worst I did that I could forgive what I always hid. I forgive myself. Put the pain on the shelf. I forgive myself. Stop blaming my health. No more in the war. No more closed door. I forgive myself. I don't hurt me no more. It wasn't instant. Nah, it took some time to rewrite the prison inside my mind. Had to learn that growth don't come from shame. It comes from accepting you ain't the same. That man I was back then ain't me today. But I kept punishing them anyway. Like I owed the past my eternal pain. Like I had to suffer to prove I remain. But remaining stuck ain't the way to live. You gotta learn how to let yourself give grace, even when you don't feel you earned it. Even when every lesson you burned it. I started speaking softer to my reflection. No more harsh judgment, just redirection. And slowly the weight started falling apart. Like forgiveness was unlocking my heart. I stopped asking, why did I fail in shame? And started asking, what did I gain? That shift changed everything I knew about what it means to make it through. I forgive myself. Put the pain on the shelf. I forgive myself. Stop blaming my health. No more inner war. No more closed door. I forgive myself. I don't hurt me no more. I thought I needed punishment to grow, but it was forgiveness I needed to know. That I'm still worthy, even with scars. Even with nights I fell too far. So I let it go, piece by piece. And I found something close to peace. Not perfection, just understanding that I deserve more than abandoned. I forgive myself, I don't need no help. I forgive myself, stop losing myself. No more shame inside, no more place to hide. I forgive myself, and I stand with pride. Every broken phase, every lost-filled days, I forgive myself, change my ways. Now I breathe again, not trapped within. I forgive myself, I can't win, not over them, but over pain. I forgive myself. For a long, long time. This one started as a whisper in my own mind, a thought I ignored for a long, long time. I kept accepting less like it was my share, like pain was normal and I should be there. But something inside me started to speak, saying you've been surviving but you still look weak. Not weak in body, but spirit and choice. Always drowning out my inner voice, till one day I listened and everything changed. When I finally believed I deserve better things. Yeah, I settled for less just to avoid being alone. Stayed in environments that felt like home, but home was broken, just familiar pain. Repeating cycles that numb my brain. I'd accept disrespect just to keep my place. Ignore my own needs, erase my face. I thought that was loyalty, thought that was love, but it was really just fear I was running from. Fear of elevation, fear of the unknown, fear of standing fully on my own. So I shrank myself down just to fit in space where I was never valued, just part of the race. But one night something snapped in my view, like I finally saw what I'm worth to do. Not for them, not for noise, not for applause, but for me without hidden clauses. I realized I was the problem too, for accepting less than I'm built to do. So I stood in the mirror, stared in my eyes and said, you deserve better, stop living the lies. That moment was quiet, but louder than screams. It broke every limit I placed on my dream. Deserve better than broken weather. Deserve better than change together. No more settled down, no more lost and found. I deserve better. I'm standing now. Once I believed it, everything shifted. The energy around me started to lift it. People I tolerated started to fade because I stopped accepting the minimum grade in love and friendship and how I'm treated. I stopped letting my worth get deleted. And it wasn't ego, it was clarity born from every time I felt emotionally worn. I learned that boundaries ain't building a wall, they just decide what gets through it all. And I stopped apologizing for protecting my peace, for refusing to shrink or decrease. Every step I took toward value in me unlocked the version I was meant to be. I saw opportunities I never noticed because I was busy accepting the lowest. But when I raised my standards, life changed tone. I stopped begging for scraps to call my own and started attracting what matched my worth. Like I finally claimed my place on earth. I deserve
ain't arrogance, it's self-respect. For all the times I accepted neglect, I had to unlearn what pain taught me. That I was less than I ought to be. But I'm not that version anymore. I don't live at that broken door. I walk forward with my head held high, knowing I deserve more than just getting by. I deserve better than stormy weather. I deserve better. I'm breaking tether. No more low regard. No more inner scars. I deserve better. I raise the bar. Every no I take, every move I make, I deserve better. No mistake. Now I see my worth since the day of birth. I deserve better on this earth, and I won't go back to that old track. I deserve better. That's a fact. Yeah. I finally see me.